Morning, it's Martin from Martin's Engine Services. Well, I'm just making a short video this morning just to show everybody the level of corrosion that was holding those injectors and injector sleeves into the Vivaro cylinder head. I thought yesterday I had nothing else much to do, so I thought, right, the cylinder head off of the van has a different type of injector and I may be able to drill them more efficiently than the other head. And I managed to get a good thread all the way down inside the sleeve. That's the injector there, and there's the sleeve. So I managed to drill all the way down and put a good M12 by 1.5 thread in there, which corresponded to the same thread as the Vivaro head bolts. And these are obviously a very high grade bolt, very strong. So I thought, right, that gives me a fighting chance. So I made up like a puller arrangement with the bolt bits and pieces, put it under as much force as I could, and then I warmed the cylinder head up for basically over an hour. And I thought it's got to give, so I kept on going until I broke a couple of the head bolts in the end. So I thought, right, there's no way back here now. I'm going to start cutting the head apart. So this is one of the parts of the head where the injector sleeve sits. Obviously this isn't the whole depth of the head because the head comes right down to about here. So what I actually did was I cut through the cam journal each side, cut the reinforcing web, and basically took a rather large hammer and I hit this and it snapped it off. Because obviously the injector has been weakened where I drilled it. Now, here is, oh, excuse me, that lurgy won't go. Now here is the very interesting thing I noticed straight away. You see this discoloration from about here round to here. That was actually a crack in the alley casting where oil has started to migrate in. This is the fresh area where I broke it free. Now clearly what's happened, the corrosion has built up in here and put so much pressure on that it's been expanding as the rust has built up and has basically cracked the alley. One of the others was like that, but that's still in the bin, I think. Yeah, I brought a selection of smashed up bits in. It was too wet outside to find any more. But you can see the build up here, which is all steel corrosion, which is etched into the aluminium. I mean, bearing in mind that should be a machined area there, smooth, shiny alley. You stood no chance of getting them out. Now I split down the side of this one with a chisel, was able to press it out, and none of these would do the same. So I literally split it and I just kept hitting it until the aluminium broke. And that's, you can see that one split open there. But the level of corrosion in here, now here is one of the sleeves that I haven't even cleaned yet and attempted to get the injector out of. Here's one that I've actually managed to get out, and you can see the step down in it here, then it stops about here. Now the injector actually has a spring clip on the bottom, so there's a clip here that holds the injector into the sleeve so it can't pull out. Then you can just see how much the state of it all. Now how they sit in the engine is this is the top of the cylinder head here. Now the sleeve sits in like this and finishes on this shoulder here. Now I've basically broken the cylinder head off along there. Now the cylinder head steps down where I've machined it, and then the end of the injector is a tight fit into the alley here, and there's the copper sealing washer, and under that you've then got a hole drilled in the head where the tip of the injector goes in. So what you've got is effectively that from the clip down is corroded into the cylinder head here. You've got an area here where the corrosion's built up. Now there is a slight step, say in where the sleeve comes in. There's the sleeve. So you've got that step here, and that step comes down as a tight fit into the head to here. Now there's a gap effectively here all the way around the sleeve. So the corrosion can build up all the way around there, all the way down there, work its way down. So you've basically got the whole of that and the whole of that corroded into the cylinder head, which is all this. There's the step there where the sleeve, hang on, yeah, that's where the sleeve finishes. Let's get in line here. That's where the sleeve finishes. Well, actually finish down there, and it's tight to there, and then that's where the gap is. So you can see the step where it stopped, and this is all the build-up of corrosion. So you've got absolutely no way that anything's going to pull those out of there. Now, once you've got the sleeves out, I rescued one from the scrap head. I haven't cleaned this one yet. You then end up with this scenario. I put these in my press, and I put 10 tons on that. Ow. So that was me just kicking the toolbox. Yeah, I put 10 tons on that, no movement, and the same on that one. I've maxed out the hydraulic press, no movement. So I'm totally determined to get these sleeves out. And I thought, I'm not giving up here. And a friend of mine was that weekend, and he was laughing at me yesterday, and he said, oh, I think it's got personal. There was tools everywhere, and there was violence going on and all sorts. And I said, I'm not giving up until I manage to get out one of these or rescue some of these sleeves. So I thought, right. So I stuck this in the big lathe, and then I drilled it out, and I had to drill it out till that's all that was left of the injector before it finally gave up. So all these several people said, oh, penetrating oil would have got down there. No. This head was under penetrating oil for 2 days, and it hadn't even done anything. This level of corrosion is so great that there's no gap whatsoever. And in fact, you can actually see, well, that's going to show up there. Yeah, you see this darkened area here and darkened area here. That's where the corrosion is actually eating into the alley. So basically, the corrosion's eaten into the aluminium and actually formed a grip onto it. So all in all, it's literally better than having it welded together. In fact, get this on edge, yes, you can actually see it. On edge, you can see that level, you got that line there up to that sort of line there, that sort of level line. And above that, what's this? Over. That's better. That darkened edge and rusty edge, that again is the corrosion that's actually eaten, focus, that's actually eaten into the alley all the way along. So it's formed a bond between the two, and likewise, it's eaten into the steel. Now these sleeves have got a couple of minor nibbles out the top and whatnot, but they are probably still going to be serviceable. As I've got this far, I've got 3 good ones now. I'll save these 2 and I'll pick the best. I'll pick the best of the 5 I've got. Now these are the snap rings that hold the injector in, and surprisingly 2 of them have survived. So I'm probably going to get 4 of them as well when I've salvaged them out of these 2. But that's basically how bad the situation is. So you really see why there is no way these are going to come out. That's quite impressive. I mean, obviously, more interesting and more worryingly, of course, is the fact that you have got that it's already broken the head here, and means it's weakened this area. So there is the potential. Obviously, if you've got the old sleeves out, you fitted new ones, or you put the injectors in. The injector obviously only seals on this copper washer here. So the crack would be here, and this is open to the inside of the head. Now the oil could migrate down here and work its way up around the sleeve, and you'll have all over the place in the top of the engine. Mind you, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea, because it might be stops it sticking in modification. But there you go. That is exactly what you're dealing with. And there ain't nothing in the world that's going to get that out short of extreme violence. Now that's the carnage of the injectors. Not too sure whether they'll take these ones back as an exchange one at the local Bosch service centre, but, you know, you never know. But, no, seriously. What an insane design. There is, quite ironically, and it's quite amusing, I think there's still part of it on one of these. Yes, there is. There is, I think, part of an O-ring there that's not doing a great deal to help. So, that is what the saga is of the corroded injector sleeves. Oh, there's the recycled piston from the spare parts engine. One of them. I've got to check the other one out. Ready to go in, and the bearings should be arriving today. And the big end shields are actually under £20 a set, so Can't really fault that. I've got that piston's ready, is already back in. Obviously got to put the bearings on it. The other piston's cleaned up, no cracks on the other pistons at all. Journals are fine, blocks all clean, ready to go now. So that's all good news. Oh, I'll just find that piston with the crack in the side, and I'll just show you what that's like. Right, now here is the poor old piston. We'll get it in the right light. Oh, that's better. There we go, and there is the crack running down the side of the piston. It comes exactly from the edge of where the valve pocket is machined, right on that corner. It's like a hard edge, and it goes across there and goes straight the way down, obviously through the ringland, and carries on that one. I can't see it in the bottom of the groove because there's a lot of carbon in there. I'm not going to bother cleaning it out, but clearly it goes down through there, inside the ringland, out and back round, but appears to have stopped short of the other one. Catch it in the right light, and you see it's on the crown here. It's just starting to open up a little bit, and likewise here on the oh, actually, I see, these pistons have actually got, that's what that is, there's actually a steel insert here where the compression ring sits. So it's cracked the steel insert literally straight down, and there's a little tiny piece of the steel insert, looks like it started to break away there. So obviously it's gone right the way through that way, but it hasn't come out. No, it hasn't obviously manifested itself inside there. Trying to get this to focus on that. Yes, it's starting to go, as we saw in that previously, it's starting to go down. So I guess it would go down to there and then sort of meet up the other side. So it's exactly come from that point exactly there, which is like that point there where they finished the machine, and they machined that pocket out, and there's quite a sharp edge there on those. And of course, wherever you leave a sharp edge in the engineering world, there's always a possibility of a crack forming. That's why everything should be radius. So I guess that's what happened to the other one. The other one's out in the scrap pile actually, because although the other one only had a slight mark on the top, it didn't go down the side. But this is the one that was on its way down. Focus, sort of will focus. Yeah, just catching it in the light there again, you can just see that that's actually opened that up. So for a fact, the crack will go straight down inside there, down through the alley there, and will be inside the piston. So, and there's so much metal inside, it won't come through there yet. So that's what's that problem. That'll account for the horrible clanging and rattling noises coming out of it. Yep, well, that one's destined for the scrap bin. Anyhow, that's enough of that for the morning. So I'm just waiting for my friendly MGB to get here, and then we shall tackle that horrible job. So hopefully the bits arrive for this, and I'll be cracking on with it, and I'll bring you an update in the normal what's happening on the Wednesday. I've done quite a lot of other work on the van for the MOT and other preparation work for this engine, which I'll feature on Wednesday. So I hope you enjoyed this little update on why injector sleeves and injectors don't just pop out of Vauxhall Vivaros. So thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little update on this hideous Monday. Say plenty more viewing figures over the weekend and another subscriber, so it's really appreciated. Thank you all very much indeed, and bye for now.